originally, my background was as a Navy SEAL. So I was an officer in the SEAL teams for a bunch of years, and I got injured. And after a botched surgery, knew I wasn't going to be able to be a SEAL anymore, which then led me to what's next. All I'd ever wanted to do was be a SEAL, be in the military. And entrepreneurship wasn't a big driving thing for me. It was more a logical means to the future I wanted to create than a big driving passion. And my specific form of leadership was strongly based in education, of developing the people around me to make good choices as opposed to direct leadership. So I got into building training companies, and it was a series of them before I ever got to leadership development.
So one thing I remember in one of our conversations was that you went from being a Navy SEAL to starting a company.
Right.
And
straight out, not a good plan.
And there were some surprises from the difference between levels of commitment between a SEAL and civilian population. What were those differences?
Yeah, it's funny and painful at the same time. One of the best parts about being a SEAL was the team. Like, we literally call it the teams. And the team is not only the team, but the men I got to serve with, the biggest thing I miss. And one of the best parts about it, what gave me the confidence to go into horrible environments and impossible missions with impossible odds, was that every SEAL that worked for me, if they said they were going to do something, they did it. Which was just, for me, that was like breathing. Like, if you say you're going to do something, do it. And if someone says they're going to do something, they're going to do it. And with a SEAL,
with 100% confidence,
100% confidence. And they would, I'd say 80% of the time, they would do it at 100% of the standard of performance. 10% of the time, they would do it at like 120%. Like, they would always go a little over. And then 10% of the time, they do it at like 200%, where you ask a guy to do an inventory and he built software to automate inventories. Like but that happened regularly. So I get to the civilian world, I hire people, they say they're going to do something, and they didn't.
Yeah.
On a regular basis. Like, it was...
So it wasn't 100% done.
No, if someone did something to 80% standard, 50% of the time, they were a high performer. And that's pathetic.
So we were talking earlier, you know, I used to work at Intel.
Yeah.
Right. And like regularly, like my boss would come by, he's like, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. And every time he did that, I was like, I'm literally doing what they pay me to do.
Just that.
And they're like, why? Like, we can't believe like how talented you are. I was like, no, like, so I would share this with my friends, and they laugh because they had the same thing too. Like, why do they keep telling us we're doing a great job when we're just doing?
Because most people do not.
Yeah.
That was a big thing.
Yeah. Anything else? That was a major takeaway from the surprises?
Two others. So I always share these three things, and these three things were like breathing, eating, and drinking water as a SEAL. Like, it's just things you did to survive. One was doing what you said you were going to do, the holding responsibility. The second one was receiving feedback. Like, as a SEAL, as an officer in the SEALs, they always did what they said they were going to do, and we would give each other direct feedback all the time. And they beat any sort of ego out of you in SEAL training, because if your ego, if I know something, I'm putting if I go into something knowing, then I'm putting the whole team at risk. If I'm not willing to take feedback immediately and implement it exactly right on the next mission, I'm putting everyone at risk. So giving and receiving feedback, and most importantly, implementing it, was, again, just like eating. Like, that's what you do. Every time you do something, someone's going to tell you how you could do it better, and you implemented it. The third thing was planning. It amazes me that organizations at best do strategic planning once a year. And then after that, it's like, well, every problem that comes up, we kind of figure it out on the way. If we have rocks or intermediate things in the year, like, it's up to someone to figure out what to do. We planned to do everything. Like, I would share, like, we finished training. You've got 16 of the best the country has to offer. We're going to all go get burritos after the training event. We put a plan together, which you'd laugh, like, wait, you're taking the highest performing people in the world, and like, you'd actually plan as how you're just going to go to the local burrito shop and get burritos. Yes. I mean, that we planned for everything. And not only did we plan to fail, because we know the one mission that wasn't going to happen was the one that we planned for.
Right. And
that just isn't done in the civilian world. So those three things, holding responsibility, giving, receiving feedback, and planning, were the biggest eye opening of people just don't do that at all in the civilian world.
So let's